Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. And if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do for a living.
Hi, I'm Emily Ciardiello, and I am the Creative Director and CEO of Foil Me. It's a company that we started around 10 years ago, and we design and manufacture hair foils, hair brushes, and we've also got a hair foiling board as well.
Awesome. So I'm just curious, what gave you the idea to start this business?
Well, I saw hairdressers, during my lifetime, using foil, and I saw the way that they were treated sometimes as well, and how busy they always were. And I was in a hair salon getting my hair done, and I had my little boy with me who at that time, he was around 18 months, and my husband came in and picked him up, and my husband saw the foil in my hair. So when I got home, he asked me, "What was that in your hair?" And I'm like, "Foil." And he started to sort of talk about, well, what are they doing with the foil? And I'm like, well, they use it to put color on and to incubate the color, and so that it processes quicker. And anyway, so he was running a business at that time, and I was helping him out as well, which was using pre-cut foils for burritos and hamburgers and that kind of stuff. So he was already importing foil. So then he suggested, well, why don't we do pre-cut foils for hairdressers? And I'm like, that's a great idea. So it was his idea. I can't take credit for it. But if we went with what he wanted to do, which is to be the cheapest foil provider in Australia, then we wouldn't be where we are today. So I was like, we've got to show hairdressers respect. We've got to show them that, they can use beautiful accessories, beautiful foils, which will then make their clients see them, more highly as well. So that's what we're all about. We're all about elevating the hairdressing industry. Yeah.
I love that. So in terms of your business today, is it mostly B2B selling to hair salons, or do you do mostly direct to consumer, retail? What does that look like for you?
So not consumer, but we're about 50-50 with direct to salons and direct to distributors. So in Australia, we have around 60 distributors, and then we are also supplying to distributors in the UK, Ireland, New Zealand, Canada, and Sweden, Switzerland, Germany. Hopefully I haven't forgotten any.
Not in the US.
Yeah, well, we just started our own company in the US this year. So we're a fully registered company there, and we have our own warehouse there in Missouri. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So I guess I'm curious, right? With these distribution partners, what is the benefit of it? Are they also selling to other salons in their network, or how does that work exactly?
Yeah, I guess it just reaches a wider audience than what we can with our social media and, what little advertising we do as well. Right. So if they have a physical, building that hairdressers are going into, then they'll see our foils there. And all of our distributors have come to us. So they've asked us, can we, stock your your brand, because hairdressers are coming in and saying, why don't you have Foil Me? Can we have Foil Me? So yeah, it's pretty cool.
So essentially, they have their own channels that are selling into places where you're not, and that's the benefit, because they already have those relationships that you don't have. So it's a much easier sort of process, as opposed to, as you said, running ads to try and reach new people, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm curious, right? Because you mentioned that you just opened up your business here in the US about 1 year ago. So what was the reason behind that move, and what is your vision for that business?
Well, we've been supplying to the US off and on over the past 10 years, and we've been sending our foils directly from Australia to the US. And sometimes they can get lost, sometimes they're damaged, and we've tried with distributors as well, but it hasn't worked out. So I've been nagging my husband, who's the co-owner of Foil Me as well. I've been nagging him, but, telling him we need to start our own company. We need to do this on our own. We need to do what we've done in Australia, but do it in the US, And then finally this year, beginning of this year, we were able to get everything together. So we've been working on it for about a year and a half, but at the beginning of this year, we were able to, have our own warehouse and have established our own company in the US. So, and it's going really, really well.
Awesome.
We're just hoping to get over there next year. That would be great. Yeah.
For sure. But I'm just curious, right? So like when you say that you have your own warehouse, are you still making all the product in Australia, or are you manufacturing the US product in the States?
So we manufacture in China.
Okay.
We were looking, when we very first began, we looked in Australia where we could manufacture, and they don't do aluminium foil here. So we were already getting foil from China, like I said, for the previous business. And so, we've been with that particular manufacturer for 10 years, and they're incredible. We're about to go over there actually just next month to go and visit them. They say that, our business is like their baby, and they've brought it up with us. So it's been a really beautiful relationship that we've been able to develop. So we manufacture in China and then we send to US. Yeah.
That makes more sense. Yeah. 'Cause I was about to say, I'm like, especially with foil, I don't think in the US we do much manufacturing. Like there's some, but it's not to the capacity of China for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. There are some foil companies that claim that they manufacture in Canada, but that's not true. So
for sure. Well, I'm just curious, right? Because like obviously now that you've launched in the US, you're growing this company. Like, what is your vision to grow more? Is it like launching like sort of your own companies in different countries, or is it like, creating new products? Like, where do you really see things going for Foil Me?
Well, I think with any business, it's going to be successful up to a point. But if you don't have that passion and you don't have that vision for it, then it's just going to crumble. And for me, my vision is to elevate the hairdressing industry in society's eyes. And so I want to do that everywhere. I don't want to just do it in Australia. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to, and I think we're succeeding in letting hairdressers know, hey, you're worth it. You deserve to use beautiful products, and your clients deserve to have beautiful products in their hair as well. So the really interesting thing about our foils is a lot of our designs are hand drawn. So they're hand drawn by myself. We also have a graphic designer here, Chelsea, who has started drawing the foils as well, which I'm very proud. I'm like a proud mama there. We've just seen just yesterday, we just saw our next foil that is coming out, and she drew the whole thing and did it from start to finish. So for us, it's about having, like, if when you wear a designer belt or you wear designer clothes or shoes, how do you feel when you're wearing that? And that's what we want hairdressers to feel when they're using it. Yeah.
For sure. But like, to really create that feeling, I'm just curious, like, is it more so just scaling more across more places in the world with your product, or is it creating more SKUs? Like, obviously there's different ways to grow, but you are growing like you are in most Western countries. But I guess, like, where do you really see things going? I don't know, let's say like in 5-10 years from now.
Look, in 5 years, I hope we have grown more in the countries that we're in. It's still very well to have growth, and everyone talks about growth, but you have to be able to sustain that. It's, you do want to keep some of the profits and not have to keep putting it back into the business. So, I would like to be growing the countries that we're in particular the US. The US is, we definitely feel that's going to be our next Australia for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the US, like California and Texas alone are bigger than Australia. So you definitely have lots of opportunities here in terms of population. But I'm just curious
Yeah.
because like you do have like a Shopify website for the US business. So do you
Yeah.
have people here in the States that order directly from your website at all? Or what does that look like?
Yes. Yes, that's where our orders come from. So it's directly from the website. And that's, yeah, the orders are growing every month, which is awesome. Yeah.
So essentially, it's like you have many salon owners, like small businesses that are ordering for their salons directly
Hmm.
from your website, correct?
Yes. Yeah, that's right. And then we ship it out from the warehouse. And we're doing that all from our small team here in Australia. We haven't had to grow our team as of yet. So
That's awesome. So how have you
that's
gone
great for
about
profits.
like, yeah, for sure. But I guess like how have you gone
Mm.
about like reaching more US business owners? Like have you run ads, cold email? Like, how do you really get in front of these salon owners about your product?
So we are running Facebook ads, which are doing well, but we have been building up our Instagram over the last 10 years. We've never bought any of our followers. So that's why we don't have like 100,000 followers. But a lot of our followers are concentrated, definitely hairdressers. And we have around 15 to 20% of those are from the US. So when one of their friends uses the product and then they post about us, then that's, that's like word of mouth for social media. And then it just continues on like that. And then there's people who use us who are on TikTok. We're on TikTok as well. And they see us that way as well. But yeah, we don't have anyone on the ground in the US visiting salons or anything like that. It's all mainly social media who are
That's
finding
awesome.
us.
So is
Yeah.
it more so, I guess, like your ideal customer? Most of your customers, you could say, are smaller salons, maybe like a 10-person salon, 10 or less. 'Cause probably like some of the big salons to purchase that, like your product, it probably would take more levels of like approval. It's probably more challenging to break through, right?
Yeah, well, I guess our target audience or target customers are salon owners, so the ones who make the decisions on what they order. So they can be small to medium to huge size. Basically, if you have a massive salon, then I encourage you to reach out to us, email us, obviously, and then we can work out some bulk orders. And that's what we do for salons here in Australia as well. But yeah, it would be mainly your small to medium size at the moment. But I guess once we have distributors, which we're still not sure we want to do just yet in the US, we have had a couple reach out to us, then those bigger salons will be going into a bricks and mortar salon suppliers and be doing that every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, however,
Right.
frequently. Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean,
does
I
that answer your
think,
question?
yeah, I think with
Yeah.
your product, it's awesome because it's like once somebody buys it one time, the lifetime value is exponential. Like as long as they're owning the
Mm.
salon or working the salon, like why would they not buy it? There's so much value in what you're selling. And I'm just
Mm.
curious too, like, many companies today are using things like AI in their business. So do you currently
Mm.
use AI? Or if not, what do you think that maybe can come in and add value for the business?
Yeah, look, it is something that we've been looking into. We definitely use Chat GPT for our blogs and PR and that kind of stuff. But then we, obviously go and edit it through and put our own tone to it. But yeah, Chat GPT has been quite useful for us getting work done at a quicker speed. We basically see it as an assistant for our PR marketing team. Yeah. But in regards to, it's something that we definitely need to look into, because I know that there's different ways that, I mean, you're the expert here. You tell me, Dan, how can we use AI?
I mean, for sure. I mean, I'm biased because we're building out like a product for customer service. That's why I'm always
Yeah.
curious, like what people are thinking, because the
Yeah.
customer service, it's interesting because your product is, B2B, but it's also not like, it's not like traditional B2B because you have people buying from your website and they're more so
Yeah.
like small business owners. So I was just curious in terms of like, even explaining your product, right? Because people,
Mm.
especially because like it's so new, people
Mm.
would just probably like have questions like, why should I switch? Like, what are the benefits, features, which one do you recommend? Because you do have different SKUs, right? So that's always like a challenge for
Yeah.
somebody, like, why, like, which one should I buy? I want to buy one. I don't know which one, right? So.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, we have our FAQs where people can, obviously go there, but yeah, it would be great to have sort of automatic, I guess, answers. But we're a bit old school as well, Dan. We
Sure.
love to talk to our customers. We feel like that's where we can really develop those relationships. I mean, we've still got returning customers from 10 years ago. We just celebrated our 10 years, and all the comments on our Instagram posts and saying, oh, I'm an OG. I remember your foils looking like that. So yeah, it's very cool.
That's awesome. So speaking of your 10-year anniversary, like if you could go back in time to when you first started, what would you say is like the one biggest piece of advice that you wish you knew before you got started?
Oh, that's a very good question. So I can answer it from a business point of view. I can also answer it from a personal family.
Let's hear both.
All right. So I'll go with family first, because that's not so nice. I guess it would be that I would spend more time with my kids rather than focusing on social media and the relationships I was developing on social media. I would have given myself more boundaries and not worked right until late at night, and then I'm cranky the next morning, or I'm on my phone while the kids are trying to talk to me, that kind of stuff. That's in hindsight. Yep. But from a business point of view, I would definitely focus more on relationships, as in not relying on websites so much to keep in contact, and emails to keep in contact with our customers. I mean, we still have like our returning rate, something like 75% on our website, which is great. But yeah, you can get a little bit reliant, I guess, on not having that face-to-face contact, or just making that effort to just contact your customers. Yeah.
So I guess like nowadays, are you going like more often to meet? I mean, obviously, like you haven't been to like the US yet, but in terms of like in Australia, do you go often like door to door to like meet your customers? Or I guess like what have you done now to really like nurture those relationships?
Well, so I have my own personal Instagram. It's called The Dressing Gown CEO. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's basically about me being real, authentic. And so a lot of, I don't want to say die hard, but, like a lot of our Foil Me fans are followers, and I keep in contact with them by, DMing them, replying to their comments and that kind of thing. We also go to events that are being held here. So hair industry events, it's really, really important that you attend those and that you show support for those as well. Yeah. And then obviously, I've trained my team in how to communicate with our customers. So my team have really good relationships with our customers as well. And it was really cool when we had our 10-year and some of them came and they were like, oh, you're Grace. I finally get to meet you, or you're Taylor, So yeah, it's really lovely. Yeah. But in regards to reps, we haven't done that just because we have very good relationships with our distributors. So our distributors are an extension of ourselves. That's how we see them. We don't compete with them. And so we feel that if we had reps out there on the road, we would be competing with our distributors. So it's a little bit tricky there. It is great that we have these amazing relationships with our distributors, but then sometimes that can, affect the way that other businesses do things, but we're very outside of the box thinking. Foil Me. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't even think of like a rep. I would just say like, even I was curious, like, I don't know, if you see somebody place an order or something like 20 minutes away from you and they're like a repeat customer, like, do you ever go and like go to the salon and talk to them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. And especially if they're like, oh my God, I forgot to order foils. I'm desperate. I need them now. We will drive there and drop them off for them as well. Yeah, we do that.
Cool.
Hey y'all, it's Dan Melnick, the CEO of Zing, and I wanted to share a special offer for all of our listeners. Right now, if you need software development services, we'll give you 2 weeks of a free trial. Do you need to update your website? Do you want to build a mobile app? Do you want to update something that you've been working on for a long time? we've worked in a high-level technologies like AI, machine learning, blockchain. So shoot me a text, 817-874-2208. Thank you.
Yeah, because I
Awesome.
figured like that, because it's like, yeah, of course, like you don't want to meddle in those distributor relationships, but like if they're ordering from your website, obviously like it's a different customer and like they're ordering because so that's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So if somebody watching this podcast wanted to reach out to you, do you mind sharing your website or social media? I guess best ways to get in contact.
Sure. So we've got a US website, which is foilmefoils.com. Then we have a AU website, which is just foilme.com.au. Then we've got our Instagram, which is at foilmefoils. I don't know why I put at. Everyone knows it's at Instagram. Same with our TikTok as well. Our TikTok is just foilme. And then there's my personal Instagram as well, which is the Dressing Gown CEO.
So, well, Emily, thank you so much for your time today.
You're very welcome. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.